Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Behind the Reel. I'm your host, John, and today we're going to talk about why they should ban forward-facing sonar in professional fishing. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive down into it. I'm going to break this down into three different topics. The first one is going to be price, and I think there's a lot of people out there that have used this as an excuse why it's not fair, why we should, not make it to where an angler has to pay to play. These events are being won with forward-facing sonar, and there's people out there that want to compete, but they can't because they can't afford this technology. Well, I'll tell you what, those people that can't afford to compete are not paying $5,000 to enter a single tournament where there's 200 plus anglers in a field. Your chances of winning this tournament are pretty dang slim to begin with, and you're just forking out $5,000 to go fish this tournament. Either you've got the money or you've got the sponsors. So a $1,500 transducer just isn't a great excuse in my opinion. This technology is also becoming more and more affordable as time goes on. If you can't afford to buy a brand new transducer, you can go find a nice used one for about half the price. And if you wait for the right time of year, you might be able to find one on sale. I know Humminbird has a Mega Live rebate going on right now. It's a $1,500 transducer, but you're going to get $500 back when you buy it. So we're talking about $1,000 here, and we're talking all of the gas expenses. Gas isn't getting any cheaper. All the boat expenses, those boats aren't getting any cheaper. They just keep raising the prices on those. The registration, the insurance, all that stuff is getting more and more expensive. And what I don't see is the payouts going up. So maybe that's something we need to look at. But I think the price is really irrelevant, and hopefully that excuse is kind of played out because I think a lot of people have looked at it. You look across the country and you see kayak tournaments where forward-facing sonar has become more and more prevalent. You look at just a local Wednesday night jackpot, everybody that shows up has forward-facing sonar in their boat. So I think the price is really irrelevant. I don't think that that's a good argument at all. Yes, it costs money. No, it's not cheap. But if you want that technology, you're going to put it on your boat. Maybe you're going to have to decide what's more important. Do you go with a spot lock trolling motor, or do you go with forward-facing sonar? Do you go with Mega 360, or do you go with Mega Live or livescope? You've got decisions to make, just like you do when you're looking at the price of a boat. Do you go with that $100,000 boat, or do you get a nice used one for $50,000 or $30,000? There's some really great ways to save money out there, and this forward-facing technology is no different. So we'll just get that price thing out of the way. The second topic that I would like to address is skill level. Somehow people have it in their mind that it does not take any skill to catch fish with forward-facing sonar. I would say most of the people with that argument have never used it, or they haven't figured out how to use it, or maybe they're fishing really unpressured bodies of water and they've gone out there and they've done really well with it. But I would venture to guess most of the people that are claiming it doesn't take any skill haven't spent very much time behind that screen as it pertains to forward-facing sonar. Something that I think needs to be mentioned when we're talking about skill level is the amount of pressure that these lakes are getting. We are seeing some of the most pressured fish in the history of time. These fish have never been more educated than they are right now. They have more baits thrown in front of their face on a daily basis than they ever have, because it is easy to put your bait in front of that fish. I will give you that, but it is not easy to make that fish bite all the time. And if you guys have used forward-facing sonar, you know that as well. But what we're expecting anglers to do is to go, these professional anglers to go out on this body of water that has been fished every single day by tens, if not hundreds of anglers that have this technology, that have been educating these fish. They've been putting these exact same baits in front of these exact same fish's faces for the last 3 years. And we want the professional bass anglers or the professional tournament anglers to go out there and somehow figure out a way to make these fish bite without giving them the same information that your everyday local angler has available to him. So he's coming into this situation at a great disadvantage. I want to interrupt this video just to shout out the sponsor of today's video, and that's going to be the Behind the Reel fishing merch. Check out that Shopify page. We've got a bunch of different options for you, shirts and hats. We've even got a couple windbreakers on there as well. So if you guys want to support the channel, this is a great way of doing so. Any proceeds are going to go back into making this channel even better. I want to thank you guys. And that brings us into our third point, and that is entertainment. The entertainment value isn't there for forward-facing sonar. A lot of these guys are saying, I don't really quite understand that, because you're able to use your time more effectively with forward-facing sonar. You may not be able to make them eat, but you know when they're catchable or not. So you can choose to pack up, go to another spot, and hopefully get on some more fish. Well, that's going to drive up your entertainment value because you're actually going to be able to catch more fish in the course of a day. And if that angler, let's say he's not interested in catching small fish, maybe that's where some of your entertainment value goes down, because these guys are making fewer casts at these fish. Okay, let's talk about that. Well, maybe he's not catching as many fish, but he's catching more quality fish. Again, making the entertainment value go up. What do people want to see? They want to see people catch fish. They want to see people catch big fish. And one of the main reasons why anglers choose to watch professional fishing is because they want to learn from it. Well, what did we just talk about earlier? Everybody and their dog has livescope. Everybody and their dog has forward-facing sonar on their boat. So why do they watch these events? So they can learn how to be more effective with these same exact tools. So I would actually argue that forward-facing sonar makes these tournaments way more entertaining to watch, especially if you have forward-facing sonar on your boat. There are going to be plenty of situations where these tournaments are not won on forward-facing sonar. You're going to see people go out and get their teeth kicked in that are trying to fish with forward-facing sonar when the conditions don't call for it. So there's a time and there's a place for it, and anglers are going to slowly but surely learn when that is. I think a lot of these guys have. But if you're able to actually put on the screen what these guys are seeing, and I'm able to learn from that, you know, what he's doing to make that fish react, or when he finally decides that that fish is not going to be able to be caught, you know, that information is good for us as a viewer, as an angler. And that's going to make us more proficient with this same exact tool. So, you know, I think as long as forward-facing sonar is around, we need to give these professional anglers the same exact tools that I have when I go out there and I fish for fun, especially when these guys are having to fish behind me, right? So that's kind of my take on it, guys. 3 main points: price. It's becoming more affordable. If you guys want to get into forward-facing sonar, you can do it at a relatively inexpensive route, and also maybe just reevaluate what you have on your boat. You know, maybe you got to sell some lures that you don't use. Maybe you got to get rid of one of the 3 graphs at the front of your boat. Like, maybe you're going to have to reevaluate some financial things. You know, skill level, I think that, yeah, it's going to be easier to catch a fish with forward-facing sonar, sure. But when everybody has forward-facing sonar, why would we put these people at the professional level at a disadvantage, especially when we're calling for entertainment, right? We want to see them catch fish, so let's give them the same tools that every Tom, Dick, and Harry has. You know, and then when we're talking about entertainment, I think it's definitely entertaining, and it's way more entertaining than when you see somebody fishing out deep without forward-facing sonar. You know, you think about somebody drop shotting or somebody throwing a deep diving crankbait, you know, basically fishing any type of lure except for topwater. It can get pretty boring because you have no idea what's going on underneath the water. But you have a lot more entertainment value when you can see the fish that he's targeting. You can see the fish reacting to the bait, whether they bite or not. You know, that's something when it comes to YouTube and it comes to making social media content, keeping everybody's engagement, showing them what the angler's seeing on the screen, showing them what's going on underneath the water is definitely going to help keep people's attention even more. So that's my take on it. That's going to be the top 3 reasons why we should ban forward-facing sonar in professional fishing. Guys, let me know what you think, whether you agree or disagree. I would love to have a healthy conversation down in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys on the next one.